Try to switch from my radio voice.
Yes. Hello and welcome to session 2 of 2 for Goblin Court. Goblin Court is from a Goblin Week jam, I think it was. It's available on itch.io. The show notes will have links to the product. This is a hack of lasers and feelings, which essentially it's a one stat game with D6s rolled against the stat. We are playing a group of slightly put upon goblins that are trying to fix human drama in a court setting. Last time, the queen called them in, asked our goblins to do a task, didn't explain things particularly well, went through several layers of interpretation, and ended up with some stabbing at the end, but success despite the stabbing, which is always vital and always important. So that is what this is. My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him. This session is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. The Gauntlet is an online gaming community /club, which has a set of podcasts. It has a forum. We have an online calendar for games, and you can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. So all of that is out there. We have 2 returning players and a new player tonight. And just to remind everybody what our safety tools are for play this evening. So the first layer of tools is the conversation that we've had, kind of establishing what the game is about. We know that the tone is fun and goofy. There might be some realness to it. It's not particularly dark. Our goblins are plucky. They have good intentions. So that's sort of the first thing we know. We're all on that page on that. Second thing we have lines and veils. This is a set of concepts. If something is marked as being a line, then it is things that we are not going to touch in the game. Some of it, obviously, we wouldn't otherwise, but this is just to make sure that these are things that are off the table for play. And then a veil is anything that, if we come to it, will elide, will fade to black when these issues pop up, and we'll kind of close that off. We have, for those of you at home, know that we've got a character keeper. We've got a checklist of things that people can add stuff to and mark with lines and veils, and they can do that throughout the game. Right now, our lines are homophobia, sexual assault, suicide, and torture. And then we have a veil on sexual content, which is classically described as the Buffy thing, where they go to the embrace and we fade to black, if anything like that were to occur. So that's our baseline, sets a set of standards for us. To supplement that, we have the X card. The X card is used as a marker for if we hit material that people find objectionable, find problematic, happens to trip over something that's triggering or hits a phobia, as I've had that happen in sessions. Those are all reasons to call the X card. And you can do that by saying X card or making a gesture, typing it in the chat. I'm going to try and keep my eyes out for that. If we hit something that we need to X card, then we'll kind of stop. I may try and get a sense of where we need to roll back to, but we don't ask questions. Somebody X card something, that's it. We move on. There's no argumentation on that. There's not a set of deliberations that occur with that. The other thing I mentioned is if you feel something's going wildly off tone, that's another reason maybe to X card something. So those are all the safety tools that we have at hand. We use a set of layers to make things work. We have our characters from last time. Before I started the recording, we talked about our new character, Diamond. I'm going to pronounce that way because once I start pronouncing a name one way, it's going to be that way the whole night, even if it's wrong. This is an unfortunate habit that I have. So, the castle. We know that the castle has a great forest surrounding it. We know that this is a wild, magical forest. Not a great place for humans to live, and yet here they are. There is a roadway that goes up to the castle. We know that there is a open air courtyard outside of the castle, fairly large, given the way that we were describing things last time. Stables and outbuildings and things like that, and probably, of fields and so on. And then within the castle itself, there's not so much natural light because it lies inside a hill, inside a large hill. It's built in there. It is an old goblin stead, originally a goblin's hill house, that has shifted and changed to match the humans' desires and workings through this, because goblin magic is flexible, changeable. It transforms over time. It transforms with intention. Whereas what we established last time is human magic is solid, it's concrete, it makes things, that those things stay in a place. One example of that is that there is a great tower when you go in the upper levels of the castle, and then you go up, and there is a tower that actually comes out of the top of the hill, is a mage's tower. There are magical elevators and lifts that go up to that, and it's an important place there. Otherwise, most people are operating inside the Gormengastian bowels of our castle, moving around within that. Other feature that's important to note is there are a lot of heirs. We have a king and a queen. The queen is the one who invited the goblins in. The queen is the one who's given the goblins their passes to work. People regard the goblins as something of a curiosity. They are a civilized people, but they have very odd ways about them, and their magic is different, and so therefore not as good as human magic, so say the humans, or at least not even worth understanding too much about. But the queen believes that goblins are wise in their own way, and that they can help her get through her life here at the castle. Made more difficult by the presence of so many heirs. And right now, the big thing that is going on in the background is this quest of Prince Affable. Prince Affable is currently planning on going out into the woods to wander and have destiny bring him a bride. So that is out in the air right now. We established some other figures last time associated with the different characters. And to start us out today, I want to go around and get a sense of, when the camera comes to you, what do we see about your character? What are they doing? And so let's start with Waldorf. Waldorf, we're probably a few days later. Is there any sign of the stabbing, or do goblins heal up particularly fast?
I think that goblins probably would have plenty of magical ways of healing up the wound, but Waldorf just it's bothersome, but it's not. He doesn't really consider it to be like a big deal, and so it's been tender, it's been sore for a while, and so he's more than happy to use it as an excuse to stop writing for a little bit, because like, oh, my injury is acting up. I need to go and lie down for a bit, and he'll stop work and he'll go lie down for a little bit.
How do you explain your injury to the humans?
I tripped and fell down a flight of stairs, and there was a knife.
That is poor kitchen
Yes.
safety.
I wasn't carrying the knife. It was just there.
No, I meant that you should not store knives at the bottom of a staircase.
If you can't tell, Waldorf is very bad at lying.
Yes. So Father Bartholomew has kind of checked in with you and comes in and to talk to you, Waldorf, after you come back from one of your breaks. It says, Waldorf, I think we need to have a chat.
Very well. What would you like to talk about?
So, you've been quite good about working on the rescribing of the books, which, as you have made clear to me, you find a task that is both onerous and nonsensical.
There is no point, but I do it because you asked me to.
One of our illuminators recently took to being dead. And so we have a position open there. What that would involve is there are people who are doing drawings in the margins, lovely drawings, and then we have someone who goes in and colors in those drawings. Now, I was thinking, given your colorful attire and nature, that perhaps this might be something more suited to your interests. And what color is your hair today?
I think today it is a bright pink at the base that fades to orange. It is a horrible, horrible color, but he likes it. He thinks it's different.
Yes. So what would you say to taking on this task?
So what you're telling me is that there are people who take the book that I finished.
Yes.
And then they add colors to it?
They add pictures. There's one set of people that draws and adds pictures to illustrate points or to put things in the margins to make them delightful to the eye. And then there's another person who goes through and adds color to those pictures. You would be the last of those, the person who would add the color.
This sounds much more enjoyable than letters, which are very boring and very black and always black. And I have asked you to get me other inks, and you will not give me other inks.
This is a chance to explore the colors that you have so richly asked for recently.
I am all for this. And he gets up and winces a little bit at his shoulder. But
I'm still bothered that anyone would leave knives at the bottom of a staircase.
I am as well.
All right. Well, I will get you a set of brushes and paints together, and we will set you to a particularly auspicious volume.
Ooh.
And yes, he seems like he's decided that this is the proper thing to do. That this obviously is not going to go wrong. It's not going to go terribly wrong. So he's satisfied with his decision. Tell me, we cut to Skunkweed. What was the thing that was slightly wrong with those cakes last time? Because I don't think we ever really got to that, but we knew that there was something slightly off about them.
It turns out that it was the mushroom flour that I used. People thought the taste was a little bit off, and like I know that there are some mushrooms that people eat and some mushrooms that people don't. So now I'm trying to figure out mushrooms.
Hello?
Hey,
Sorry about that. I
Pearl.
get the link thing.
are you able to get into the spreadsheet?
Probably. Is it in?
It should be in the email that I sent.
Oh, I see it in the chat. Yes, sorry, I assumed the game wasn't happening because I found no emails and I'm just setting up as fast as possible. Hi, everybody.
Hey, well, let us get you
Hi, Pearl.
set then. Let me check something here. Okay. All right, so let's get you set. So this is a, we're gonna put a pause on going through the characters. So this is a game where our characters are playing goblins, trying to fix human drama in a court setting. Our goblins are plucky. They have been asked here by the queen to attend, and they've been given passes so that they can move throughout the castle. And the queen usually comes in and asks them a task. Our goblins are just slightly off. And there are only a few choices you need to make for your goblin. You'll need to choose a style for your goblin. And we've got drop downs for all these on the sheet there. And then a role, a thing you do in the court, and a goblin goal. So those are going to be 3 picks, things you're going to choose from the drop downs. And then you're also going to choose a number for your goblin. If that number is higher, it means that your goblin is focused on being clever. If your number is lower, it means that your goblin is focused on being compassionate. So right now we have, as you can see, Skunkweed, our inventive cook who shares food, Waldorf, our inquisitive scribe who shares secrets, and then Diamond, our daring stable hand, who I think is about friendship, right?
Yes, I want to make friends.
Okay. So Pearl, I will give you a bit of chance
Yeah.
to make those picks there.
Okey-dokey. I've gotten started. Just hold on one second. I'm going to open the door so my dog can go out, but I'm not going to go out within a minute. But I will work on the character keeper.
Okay.
Okay, go on. You gotta work in this thing. Go on. Stripes. Welcome, gregarious and entertainer makes sense. It's a bit on the mark for me. Feels like cheating.
Excellent. So let me go over some quick facts about the castle so you know kind of the basic situation, and then we can continue on with Stephen. We're kind of zooming in on each character to see where they're at, where they're living, and so on before the queen summons everyone. This is a castle that used to be a big goblin hill house. It is inside a massive hill. The humans have kind of found it and have been using it. There is a great big weird mystic woods that encircles the castle and the hill outside that the humans kind of try to stay away from. And there's a road that leads up to this. There's a courtyard outside the hill. There's a mage's tower that extends from the top of the castle out of the cavern into the open air. And there's some magical elevators that go on throughout that. This is clearly an important center of commerce and learning and magic with people coming and going. There are a lot of heirs to the king and queen. And right now the prince, Prince Affable, is present here doing a particular quest that he is on. So those are the big details that are out there. So Stephen, Martha comes to you and says, while we appreciated the mushroom flour for the cake. It may not have been the best choice. So you said you wanted to explore mushrooms?
Yes, I've gathered up a wide variety of mushrooms. I understand that humans cannot eat all kinds of mushrooms, so I want to make sure that I don't use any of the kinds of mushrooms that humans can't eat.
Absolutely. In fact, if you're going to use any mushrooms, you definitely want you to work with someone before you actually cook any of them, as many of them are quite dangerous and quite deadly to us. We humans are weak and fallible creatures.
Yeah, and he picks up a mushroom that is shaped like a sword, which he got from the enchanted forest. He's like, oh, like this is one of the dangerous ones.
I've never seen a mushroom like that. Did you get them from the mushroom caves down in the cellars?
We have mushroom caves?
Yes. It's far too dangerous to go out and harvest mushrooms out in the Mystic Woods.
It is? I've never had any trouble.
These mushrooms, she gestures, are they from the woods?
Yes. I mean, except this one, and he points to a footstool. I found this in the castle.
Yes. I would say just as a general rule, any of the mushrooms that you might find out in the woods are likely to be weird, unusual, and quite likely dangerous.
Well, I enjoy using ingredients that are weird and unusual, but I do not wish to use ingredients that are dangerous. So
Absolutely.
I will avoid using mushrooms from the enchanted forest in the future.
If you need help with this, Master Sprocket is our mushroom keeper, mushroom tender, and you can go and speak with him.
You have a human who knows all about mushrooms? This is wonderful.
Yes, it is. She looks nervous. Your enthusiasm seems to make her a little worried. Yes, maybe you should go and speak with Master Sprocket when you have the chance.
I will. And he picks up the mushroom that's shaped like a sword and dashes off.
She takes the other mushrooms and puts them somewhere for safekeeping. Diamond, you work in the stables, stable hand, out there. You know, there was a big hullabaloo just a few days ago. Somebody got all the donkeys upset, and there were some issues with that, but things seem to have calmed down. Diamond, let's say this is sort of early in the morning. When you wake up, where do you hang your head? Where do you sleep?
I sleep with the goats, and
Okay.
there are a lot of them. And
So
sometimes I
you
just wake up under a big pile of goats.
You kind of have to push your way out of them. What is the big and unusual task that you have ahead of you today in the stables?
Oh yeah, in the stables. Well, they really want me to clean out the horse stables of all the manure and stuff, which I really don't like doing. But I'm really looking forward to getting that done, or getting it well enough done that they don't notice the rest, and venturing out into the forest.
Absolutely. And who is your supervisor? Who is your boss there in the stables?
Yeah, there's a dude named Ken.
Ken.
It's like one of the washouts, I think. Like he's definitely not gonna be an heir. Like he's already been like washed out like a long time ago.
Yeah. He's some people call him the prince of the stables at this point.
Yeah, that's where he's probably gonna stay the rest of his life.
And he comes in. All right, Diamond, gonna do that manure today, right?
Sure. Yeah, definitely definitely do that.
Awesome. We'll get that moved along there, and it'll be good. Everything else going ship shape here.
Sure. Yeah. Nothing to see here. You should probably just go get some breakfast and go do whatever the humans do. But
Absolutely. With those kinds of assurances, I will go off and not have any worries or cares.
no, you shouldn't. Definitely. No cares at all. I got this.
Okay. So you will. You want to get this done quickly, right?
Oh yeah.
So, is this something you would turn maybe to a little bit of goblin magic to help with?
I suppose if I could, I don't know how much goblin magic I actually know because I don't spend a like. I don't know how goblins learn their magic, or they just sort of have it, don't they? Like I think you guys had established that before.
I think there's a lot of instinctual goblin magic as well as some learned stuff.
Yeah, I actually don't think that he has any magic that with shoveling manure. Like he really wished that he did, but I don't think he has any.
So are you putting your shoulder to the grindstone and actually shoveling the manure, or are you doing the job that is just enough and
I think
considering
we're
the
definitely
rest?
doing the job that is just enough.
Okay.
Like 2 scoops and then out of there if possible.
Okay. You will definitely see that there are a large group of humans that are here that Prince Ken has been stopped, and you can see that it's Prince Affable and Prince Affable's entourage that are there that have having their horses called out and saddled up and so on, and they are clearly going to make a day of it. So you can easily in the mess of that slip away. Pearl, are you ready for me to come to you?
Yes.
Okay. So let's start with this question. What is your goblin's name?
Is there a guideline for picking a name?
No, we have Skunkweed, Waldorf, and Diamond.
Okay. I think his name is Chippy.
Chippy. So tell us about Chippy. What does Chippy do in the castle?
He is an entertainer. Or at least tries to be. There's the in-house troupe, there's like a court composer, I imagine, and a little theater, and they put on little shows for the queen, and they generally cast Chippy as comic relief, and he knows he could do more serious roles if they would just give them to him, but they don't seem to take goblins very seriously within the theater, so he does what he's asked, but has aspirations to really, like, one day his moment will come,
So Chippy, as a thespian, do you imagine that that amongst the goblins that there's a tradition of being an actor of theater, or is theater an unusual human thing?
Quick question, just because I missed the setup, obviously. Are there multiple like goblin cultures and societies that we come from, or is it all one thing?
I don't think we've established that.
I would say if there are multiple like groups of goblins living here and there, that it probably depends on the community. It's certainly not well developed anywhere.
Mm-hmm. So amongst your goblin people, is there a fine tradition of theater?
There's a tradition of something like theater.
Okay.
And then once Chippy got to court and saw human theater, he really fell in love with, plays that are more than 5 minutes long, and like there's character development, and yeah. So He'd love to bring this back to his community somehow, if that were possible.
Often in these kinds of play groups and troops and things like that, a lot of these actors and actresses perform double duty as seamstress, as set painters, things like that, musicians. What else does Chippy do as an entertainer here?
Well, that's the thing about the whole being a goblin in the human theater world. He does whatever they ask him to.
Okay.
It's like he's everyone's assistant, basically. So if they need him to get beverages, they ask him to get beverages. If they need him to clean up the stage after some fake blood has been spilled or whatever else, he does that. Because he figures if he's, helpful enough to everyone, that will help his chances later on. And he wouldn't say that the humans abuse his good nature, because who would ever say such a thing? Not Chippy. But he wouldn't mind having a little bit less to do.
That seems reasonable. Who is the director? Man, woman? Who is it who is in charge of the theater?
It's a very, between us fellow goblins, a very pompous human individual named Sir Pepperley.
Sir Pepperley.
Yes. And he is the official court thespian. So he writes many of the plays, and he also stars in many of the plays and directs them. And he doesn't seem to see any conflict in taking on all of those roles at once, which is his prerogative, and very grateful to work with him, such a distinguished individual.
So I imagine that given that we probably have a decent theater built into the castle, that they have a good space for that, dedicated to these kinds of things. In the last few days, you have been putting on a variety of the most boring sort of plays about old kings.
He does love those. Yes.
It's the full cycle of 38 of those that they are working through to entertain Prince Affable, who probably doesn't like the theater as much as some people do, but there it is. And tell me, one last question, what does Chippy look like? How do they dress?
Well, the good thing about being sort of the theater's everything person is that he's often in charge of costumes. He has to wash them, which is not his favorite, and put them away. But when no one's using them, like if they're not in the current production, he can just wear whatever he wants. So he's usually wearing some sort of costume and doesn't always appear to be from the same era from one day to the next. Also, a lot of them are too big, and he just used like clothespins to pin them up because he can't damage them by sewing them.
Absolutely. I like that very much. We're going to swing back around to Waldorf. Waldorf, you have been given a whole set of paints and inks to work on these pages with, and they've made the mistake perhaps of not telling you exactly which color goes where. So it's been left up to your prerogative, and you've just begun on that task. When you will see that Queen's page, Zabalu, who came and collected you a few days ago, pops in and looks around, and good Master Waldorf.
And he's going to jump a little bit, and he had just dipped the paintbrush in and flings it a little bit, and then some of it gets on the page's face.
That's yes, that's quite a blue.
Yes, do you like it?
It's I will have to wash it off before.
I was thinking it would be a wonderful color for a horse. I wish all horses were this color.
Is this some sort of fantastical horse?
I don't think so. All I have is an outline. I haven't bothered to actually read any of the text, but there's an outline, and that is very clearly a horse. And I thought this would be the perfect color for him.
That does appear to be a horse on the page, sir. But I am no art critic, so I may be in error on my judgments. But I have it to understand that you have a means of communicating with your fellow goblins. Goblins? Goblinoids? Goblins.
Goblins is the proper term, yes.
Yes.
And also, yes. And he pulls out his little rock that he keeps.
I have been sent by the Queen, and she has asked that you and Skunkweed and Diamond and Chippy would attend upon her. Shall I convey to her that that you and your friends will be coming to see her?
Oh, sorry, you were still talking to me. Yes.
Yes. So I'll take that as yes. Excellent. Good. Well, then I will be off, and I will inform the Queen that you will be there soon.
Let's go with soon.
Yes.
I think
the word
soon is an appropriate amount of time.
Absolutely. Oh, did you injure yourself?
Yes. No. I am injured. I did not do it to myself.
Oh.
I sort of did it to myself. The stairs did this to me.
Wait, stairs? How did that come to be?
There was a knife.
Wait, and the stairs had a knife?
Yes.
You will have to tell me which stairs those were so I can avoid them in the future.
Oh, I removed the knife. There is no need to go looking for knife stairs.
Oh, good. That is very wise. Well, I will be off if you will gather your friends, companions, co-workers together.
This I will do.
Okay. And Zabalu heads off.
And I think Waldorf is a little bit preoccupied trying to think of how best to color this horse. So it takes him a few minutes to actually call everybody.
Okay.
But eventually he does do what he says, and he's gonna call up everyone. Do we have like
when you use these stones, is it like a 1-to-1, or is it like you can talk to all the goblins? Which do you think it is?
My impression of these stones was that they were more of a kind of a walkie-talkie situation that kind of responded to your just, if I want to talk to somebody, I can talk at the rock, and it understands who I was supposed to be talking to.
Okay.
And so if I wanted to talk to everybody, then it would understand that, and I could talk to everybody at once.
And so with that, Waldorf, Diamond, Chippy, Skunkweed, Diamond, Chippy. Skunkweed, as you're heading down to the Mushroom Caverns, Diamond, as you are getting ready to maybe slip out the front gate, and Chippy, as you are gathering together the laundry, you'll receive a call from Waldorf saying that the Queen wishes all four of you to attend upon her.
I'm going to assume that the Queen's requests trump anybody else's in the castles other than maybe the King's.
That is correct. The Queen
Yes,
is
well,
your
then excellent.
benefactor.
So
This
I
is
dropped
the
the
we don't
laundry
have
on
to
the
do
floor.
chores excuse.
Yep. I dropped the laundry on the floor in a heap in the costume room and head towards you all haven't named yourself on the screen, so give me a moment. Sorry. Waldorf. Head towards wherever Waldorf is, or has asked us to meet. Or maybe I scrawl a hasty note. I don't think I have very good writing skills, probably, and the pencils are very large for my tiny hands. But
yes.
like going to Queen.
Excellent.
Because that's clear, and I'm sure they'll understand what I'm communicating. And I put that on top of the pile of clothes first.
And Skunkweed, where are you when you get this call?
I never actually asked for directions on how to get down to the mushroom cavern, so I've just been looking for stairs that go down. because I've found that when humans make buildings, if you want to go somewhere that's below you, you have to find stairs that go down.
That does seem like the case. That is
It's some sort of human custom.
yes. So you found a couple that they haven't ended exactly where you wanted to, and then you will get this call to wait upon the queen.
And I know where the queen the queen is. She is in the tower.
Absolutely. And Diamond, are you pleased or disappointed to get this call?
I'm very annoyed. In fact, I really don't like having this rock thing. I've tried to get rid of it many times. I've tried to send it skipping across the lake, and it always seems to come back because I generally just don't like to get pulled into. I just want to be free, I just want to be a free goblin of the forest. But yeah, it always seems to come back, and I'm just like, man, I just got my naps tied to my little stick and tossed over my shoulder, and I was like all ready to go, and this is like a now what kind of moment.
But you do, I mean, the queen is the benefactor, the person who brought you here is giving you these things. I assume you go.
That's true. Yeah.
So we will cut.
I'm not happy about it.
Yes, we will cut to the wizard's tower. Last time we described it as a massive thing, that the column that goes up. At the very, very top are the wizards and their various businesses. And down below, and one of the most regally appointed is the queen's level of the tower. You have to ride up these magical elevators and kind of make some hops along the way. But eventually the four of you will gather together outside the queen's chambers. There are those two guards that are always stationed there. And one of them will greet you and say, "Good day, Master Goblins. If you will wait just a moment outside here, I will see if the queen is ready to see you."
That is acceptable.
Excellent. Hold on one moment. And we'll go inside. And
I wonder how long a moment is. I don't want to wait too long, or otherwise we won't be able to get in to see the queen.
You did say soon, right, Waldorf?
I did
Or
say
something.
soon.
So I assume that a moment might be encompassed within a soon.
That is likely. Diamond, is there anything you can do about that horrible, horrible smell?
I don't know. Is it you? Is it you? I don't know.
I seriously doubt that the smell is me.
If you think this is bad, you should try going into the costume chamber before I've done the laundry. The humans are not a cleanly people.
No, they are not.
the guardsman will come back and say, if you would follow me, and we'll walk you into the Queen's chambers again. Silks and satins and hanging tapestries, and there are handmaidens over sewing, doing needlepoint in the corner, and big perfumes and makeups and dressers and things like that. And this guard will walk you over to the area where, again, you see the Queen on a divan, and she is there, and she sees you, and as she sees you, she lets out a world-weary sigh. Oh, my goblin-y friends, how are you today? How are all of you? Are you well?
We are magnificent as always, Your Highness.
Oh, you're always so good. And Master Chippy, how plays the theater?
Oh, the theater is delightful as always, and I'm very glad to be there. And definitely they're using my skills in useful ways, so I am very grateful, your greatest, highest, majestic, most majesty, miss.
Yes. Well, I'm very glad to hear that. Which king is the play this evening?
Barbarous, the
Barbarous.
272nd.
Ah, yes. I think I remember that one. Master Skunkweed, I have it to understand that it was you we have to thank for the most unusual and slightly savory cake that we had the other evening.
It was your Majesty. Did you enjoy the sponge sugar sculptures
They
that
were
were only slightly animated?
they were quite striking. I reveled in the looks on everyone's faces as they took bites of the cake and discovered its unusual flavor.
I thought it was quite. I thought it was quite. I did not intend for it to be unusual, Your
No.
Majesty.
I'm so glad that you are here to open our eyes to new vistas. And
That is what I think. But most humans are not as open-minded as you.
true is very true. Master Diamond, I apologize for pulling you away from your tasks and your duties.
I feel like Diamond has already been like climbing up a tapestry, trying to find like a way out, and himself tangled up in a tapestry like halfway up the room.
What monkey
Looking
shines?
for a way out of this situation.
And she kind of looks, and you're unusual for a goblin, even among goblins. And she's not quite sure what's going on with that, but she just puts it down as a goblin-y thing. So she enjoys your escapades. She doesn't understand the purpose of them, but she understands that you do these things. She says, I am vexed. I am vexed and put upon, and I fear that you four are my only hope, only path to a solution to my vexation.
Anything we can do to help your royal, high, mighty, that was non-sarcastic, majestic nobleness.
My queen is enough. No need to be so formal. You were ever so helpful in drawing off that Las Marans abuse of the young and handsome Cal Garwain, and it is much appreciated. But I'm worried about something. I have heard that the court wizard, the high wizard, Brizantimus, that he has some plot afoot, some scheme cooking, something. Don't know what it is. And I wish to know, because it worries me. I have not always seen eye to eye with Brizantimus. My respect for the wondrous magics of the goblins, I think, annoys him perhaps a touch. He would rather my attentions be put to his human magics.
Well, if this wizard is dabbling in cooking, that concerns me as well.
I mean, makes a really offended noise.
I would like you to secretly and quietly uncover what the wizard Brizantimus is up to. Do you think, Master Waldorf, do you think you and your companions could help me with this?
Discovering things is my specialty.
Excellent, excellent.
I can
would-
provide us with disguises.
that
Oh,
would
yes,
be-
I do love your outfits.
Thank you.
Well, I set this task to you, and I look forward to hearing what you discover.
And I look forward to what I discover as well.
And the queen does that gesture that says, "Okay, we're done here. You all can head out." And we'll cut to the four of you as you back out in the hall. I imagine that Diamond is sort of itching to get going, but let's cut to the conversation between the four of you at this point. What are you saying, Skunkweed?
Well, I am very offended. I'm not offended that this wizard wishes to cook, because that is a good and proper occupation. But as an expert in goblin magic and an expert in culinary pursuits, he could have consulted me. It would have been appropriate. But nobody ever takes goblins seriously.
I don't know. I have met this wizard, and he is the kind of person that would have contacted you if he was doing something that was helpful and good.
So not only is he dabbling in cooking, he's dabbling at wicked cooking.
Yes, that is my guess.
Well, we must stop this wicked cooking. We must stop him from tarnishing the good name of cooking. If we allow people to engage in wicked cooking, then it might discredit the whole concept of cooking, which would be a terrible shame.
That would be terrible.
I am
How
in
would we-
agreement. Is it definitely only magic cooking though? Because we might want to be prepared if there's other wickedness.
If he is wicked in culinary ways, he is probably wicked in other ways too. And I think the queen would want us to uncover all of his wickedness.
We will need a lot of costumes. I don't think they'll notice if I bring most of the costumes in the costumery with us. Do you?
Humans are very unobservant, except when they are noticing things.
Yes. That is most unfortunate when they do notice things. They notice them very noticeably.
I try on purpose every day to have the humans notice me, and they do not. And so I feel like if you do something on purpose with the intention of making them notice you, they will pointedly ignore you.
That does seem to be true. It's like they notice you when they want to have something to notice. Like if something goes wrong, or if they run out of the tree props and they need someone to play a tree by just standing there on the stage painted brown and green all day long. But
You did a great job as that tree.
thank you. I tried to be very method about it. But, when it comes to the signups for the auditions, it's like they just don't see your name on the list. It's a very interesting selective noticing that they have practiced.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we have a plan. We should go to the wizard's chambers and all act very conspicuously so that he will ignore us. And then we can
Yes.
observe him unseen.
Hiding in plain sight. Nothing could
We could-
possibly go wrong.
No, we can announce it. We could say, here we are, 4 goblins just looking for secret wicked magics. And then absolutely no one will have any interest in the fact that's what we're doing.
That is very dramatic. That is like one of your play rehearsals.
Why, thank you. Right, keep the
Chippy?
stage with me.
Chippy, what's your thoughts about this? I haven't heard from you.
You mean
Not
Diamond?
Chippy, I'm seeing Diamond. Sorry, Diamond.
I wondered. I would really like to know. I'd like to know a lot more about this. Not like how you guys managed to get the humans not to notice you, because they seem to notice me quite a bit, and I'd rather them not notice me. But they always want me to clean the stables, like dig a hole, like go out to the enchanted forest and come back with water from the unicorn pools and bring it right back straight away. Like, don't linger. And I just like, so how do you get the humans not to like notice you?
Well, when the humans want you to do something, they always notice you. But when you want humans to do something, they always ignore you.
I don't want them to do anything.
That's your
That's-
problem right there. If you go around the humans and act like you actively want to interact with them and have something, it's like you become invisible.
Whoa, I haven't tried that. I will try that. Like, I'm doing that today. That's the next. I'm gonna write that down right now. I'm writing it down. Like, he grabs something. He grabs a stick or something. That's definitely not. He grabs like a candle off the wall. That's definitely not a writing utensil. He just starts scribbling with the candle that he grabbed off of like the dungeon wall.
That the
Absolutely.
same candle that Chippy uses for the sign-up sheets? I don't understand why they always ignore her name.
It sounds to me like there's something that approaches the kernel of an idea of a plan. So let us take our mid-session break here. And when we return, we will see how well that plan occurs. That is what we will do. So let us take 5.
Hello?
I'm still here.
I always forget to check the time when we say there's a break, so I never know when the break is over, so I just usually come back and lurk.
Yeah.
Plug my laptop in. That seems like a good plan.
Yeah. Did you get the package, Pearl?
I did. Or
Good,
actually, my housemate did, but because
Good.
nobody ever tells me anything, it was just laying in the hallway.
Okay.
But it has been retrieved. Although I have not had a chance to look through it yet because
Okay.
of the aforementioned time.
Yeah.
But thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll give Sam a minute.
I forgot to write down the name of the head thespian, and I feel he
Sir
will not be
Pepperley.
pleased. Ah, yes. I will write him down. Thank you. He does not take kindly to feeling as though people don't think he's important enough for something. And I feel if I were to forget his name, he would be very displeased.
Very
and when he is displeased, things in the theater become more unpleasant, I've noticed. I find that once I've played with people a number of times, I don't have trouble switching who they are in my head. But like the first 2 or 3 games I play, they become very entrenched as like the first character I knew them as. And if the game is very different, it's just very weird. I did Once More Into the Void with Sam. Is the only other game I've played with him.
Oh.
And he was a very different character than Waldorf. And so I'm finding it very interesting. Hi, Sam. I was just talking about you without you being here.
Oh, that's okay.
It was it was leading somewhere pleasant. I hadn't gotten there yet. But in any case, I'm processing that you are not Nadia. You are Waldorf.
Oh no, I am not Nadia.
So it seems that there was a discussion of a plan that the 4 of you would, with great panoply and noise, go and make your way to Chrysanthemus's magical laboratories to spy on him by being obvious. Is that does that seem like a reasonable restatement of the plan? What do you think, Skunkweed?
I mean, to the extent that you can call it a plan, yes, that is a reasonable summary.
Fair enough. So tell me, I'm going to go around, we'll establish some details here. Tell me, Master Skunkweed, when you make your way up to the levels where the high mages of the humans are, towards the top, tell me one significant feature of these levels that differ from below.
There are lots of very big, fake-looking, sparkly jewels embedded in the walls.
And that's something that, do you think, because of the nature of this goblin castle, that it changes? Do you think that's something that came over time, or do you think it's that the wizards put those in to be like awesome and bedazzled?
I mean, I think it's like the goblin structure. This is what humans expect the magical part of the tower to be like. So
Okay.
Just adapting.
So it has these big gems. The light comes in the windows and it catches it, and we've got that lens flare. Like we're in a J.J. Abrams movie that's coming and hitting us from all sides as you go there. Tell me, Diamond, are there lots of wizards? A few wizards? Wizards and a lot of students? What's the setup and structure of these wizards?
Wizards. Yeah, I was kind of imagining that there weren't very many actually. That it was pretty quiet, like because I kind of figure the humans maybe don't have so many magical wizards because if they could, they'd be able to venture out into the magical forest more often. So I think it's probably pretty rare for the humans, for any human, to be able to do any magic at all. So I'm kind of thinking there's not too many of these people.
Yeah, let's say there are 4 of them, 4 wizards plus maybe some servants, non-magical servants, and we'll just to make things Oz-like, Brisantimus is the Wizard of the North. Each of them has a cardinal direction that they are associated with, and clothing and styles and things like that. What is the style and look that the Wizard of the North has? Chippy, what is that wizard's accoutrement?
I would just like to say, to start off with, that I've never really liked the North. I think it's too obvious. All the compasses point there. I mean, really. And much in the way of the too obvious North, he has lots of jackets for when it's cold, and sensible trousers, and all kinds of things that are uninteresting. And really, if you're going to practice any magic at all, you should have capes, probably hats that are very tall. He has none of these. He looks very normal. It's offensive.
Very pedestrian wizard.
Yeah.
Older. Certainly, when people talk about him, he's the one that they kind of whisper his name. And the other wizards have the curly toes and the hats and the nice things, that you can make up versions for the costuming. So it is a delight. Tell me, Waldorf, what is the magical sentinel beast thing that is outside of Brisantimus's chambers?
I think that it is definitely a massive animated statue that is like, anytime you go close to it, it does this whole like joints creaking and cracking and coming alive routine that we all kind of know. We've seen it all before, but it doesn't. Yeah. But Byzantium has him do that every time to impress the new people.
I am the it's you. Oh, you know me. Goblins.
Hi, Charles. How's it going?
Why do you darken Brisantimus's doorstep this day?
We're just here to have a look around. We're
supposed to be obvious, guys.
Yeah. And I'm dabbing a little bit of black paint on Brisantimus's doorstep because I feel that's expected.
What is it? What are you doing, skunkweed?
I am darkening Brisantimus's doorstep. I thought that was what I was supposed to do when I came to visit him, because that's what you
were
always
very
say.
clear. Yeah.
No, it is a speech figure.
Oh, so
there are speech figures as well as you, because I don't see them. Are they invisible speech figures? Or do they have different expectations? Because I've learned in the theater, everyone has different expectations, and they all want you to do them all.
Let me start again. Ooh, goblins, what are you doing here?
We're talking to you.
That is what we are doing right now. That is true.
Do you have business with my master, Brisantimus?
Yes.
Yes.
You do.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I don't think he knows, but we
It's
were
not so
sent
much
up by the
with
queen,
him.
so
sort of about him.
But that's a secret, so don't tell him.
Good thinking to say that out loud. That's exactly the plan. It's Presentium adjacent. Presentimus adjacent business.
I will tell him you are here.
Okay.
Oh, that's unnecessary. But maybe we want him to know that we're here so he'll ignore us. Was that the plan?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, please tell him that we are here and we're going to snoop through his belongings to give information.
Don't tell him that part.
I thought we were being very
no.
open about our objectives.
No. We're not being open about. We're just being very conspicuous.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean that last bit.
Tell him that there are four very conspicuous goblins here.
I will
Ask him
relay
if he
that.
hasn't. Ask him if Byzantium. Does Byzantium have any cookies? Did you ask him for us?
I will pass that along.
I haven't had breakfast.
And it kind of does that thing where rolls his stone eyes back in his head, and he's clearly communicating with Chrysanthemus. And after a few moments, the doors will, of their own accord, humans always do this, will come open, and you're clearly expected to go in. And the four of you will walk in. You'll see classic, basic. Like, it doesn't have the crystal balls and all of the fancy filters and skulls and things like that. He has books and chalkboards and things like that. And you will see this figure come out from the back and kind of tucks at his jacket, and he says, "Oh, goblins. Why have you four come here today?"
I'm just going to whisper to everyone, see what I'm saying about the lack of panache? There's not like a single dragon skull in here.
Yeah, and the other wizards all have balls. Why doesn't this wizard have any balls?
Does this wizard have cookies? I didn't know if this wizard has cookies.
So, Charles, my guardian statue, sent word that you wanted cookies? Well, here you are. And he will pull forth this plate and he puts it on the table. There are your cookies. Enjoy. Would you like some milk with them as well?
You're weirdly menacing for someone giving out delicious cookies.
Yeah, that is a very clever flavor combination. Milk and cookies. I am going to make a note of that. You are a genius, sir. I applaud your culinary prowess.
Excellent. Who was it who asked for the cookies? Pushes the plate forward.
Oh.
Everyone points at you. I take it then, Diamond?
Sorry. What do these cookies look like? Like, I want to pick one up and just kind of look at it.
They're big. They're like the big, thick. They've got that sort of brown caramelized edge that kind of crisp. You can tell that they're fresh. Like, you touch the chip, like the little chocolate chip, and it gives just a little bit when you touch it.
All right, I'm just gonna eat it immediately. Pop the whole thing into my mouth. But I won't have any milk because I think that's weird, because that's like what they're always squeezing out of the animals, and if that's what they're using it for, I don't want any part of that.
Fair enough. So now, shall we get down to the gist of it? Why have you come here today? You've been fed cookies, delicious cookies.
They were quite delicious. Thank you very much.
Good. I am so glad that you enjoyed them.
Is this a wizard thing where you like say one thing but everything about you communicates the other thing? I'm genuinely curious. There might be a wizard in an upcoming play, and I need to know whether I need to act the opposite of everything I'm saying, because it's very important to me to be accurate.
I don't know what you would be speaking of.
See, that was exact. Guys, I'm out of my element. I'm out of my depths here. They're never gonna give me a part in one of the main plays if I can't even figure this stuff out. So, like,
I agree with you. This is incredibly difficult.
You all.
we're here with no objective whatsoever. Was that it?
Yes.
That was
Now
great.
I
You did a great job.
understand. So you've just come here just to stop by.
Yes. We have no secret orders from the Queen or anything like that, turns out. We're just feeling very friendly.
Good. I'm very glad to hear that. So, how are things in the kitchen, Skunkweed?
They are going very, very well. And it turns out, did you know that the castle has a human who is an expert on mushrooms?
Ah, yes, Master Sprocket. He hides in the depths of this castle. He knows
hides.
much.
That's why I couldn't find him.
It is likely. Some find it difficult to find their way down there.
Yes, there's very poor signage in this castle. I have noted this on many
yes.
occasions.
The signage in this castle is weak at best. Diamond, isn't it?
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
I understand that you like to go out into the woods.
Yes, I would like to be there right now. Would you like to go? Yeah. What would you like to send me to the woods for something? I'll definitely come right back.
No, that's not what I need from you.
Gosh, Grumpet.
What I wish to know is, have you been to the unicorn pools lately?
All the time.
Are they as fresh as ever? No changes to them?
As far as I know, they're I don't know. I think the humans seem to think that they're magical, but I think it's just that the water tastes better than water coming out of like rusty pipes, and they mistake fresh water for magical water just because it doesn't have rust in it.
You see much. You see past the illusion, past the veil of these things.
I've heard that before.
Well, interesting.
I think Waldorf is going to take the opportunity that he's trying to talk to the other goblins and like sneak kind of around and try and look around the room a little bit, see if there's anything like
Hanky?
suspicious or
Okay.
weird or
Sure. So this sounds like clever. And I think it's a D6. You're definitely inquisitive, so you can get an extra D6 from that.
Mhm.
Do you think the others are helping you?
Yeah, it sounds like they're trying to help by being distracting.
Okay. So in that case, Skunkweed, tell me how you're being distracting and holding Chrysanthemus's attention in this conversation, such that Waldorf can make his way around. You are muted. Take a drink.
Yes, I am very interested in the cookies, and I am asking to see his kitchen because I know he did not bake these cookies in the palace's kitchen. So he must have his own cooking.
I'd be too embarrassed to show you my kitchen. So why don't you? Does that seem like clever?
I mean, actually, I feel like I'm making a human connection.
Yeah, so let's have you roll a compassion.
Okay, and that is, I mean, I do look at kitchens a lot.
Yeah.
It's sort of like sharing food. It's like I'm
Okay.
asking him up to show me his. So, I mean, I think this is actually 3 dice with compassion,
Okay.
and those are all very low dice.
Those are all very low dice. So you are not assisting Waldorf at all. Your attention is probably a little more focused on the cookies themselves. Chippy, are you attempting to cause
Oh,
to
yes.
create distraction? And how are you doing that?
No, because I need to learn more about this saying the opposite of the way you're acting thing. So I have to try the opposite way, which is to say something negative while acting really positive. So I'm now telling him about the theater, and I'm like, oh, it's just the best thing working in the theater. You know, I always thought about being a really serious actor, and instead of giving me any parts, they mostly just make me do laundry, and it's just so lovely. And I'm being, like, jumping out of my chair with exuberance, talking about all the menial tasks they set me to, and playing the tree and whatnot.
That seems like compassion, and it definitely falls into the things that you do. So I think you'll have a full 3 dice.
Excellent.
You want to get over a 3 or exactly a 3.
Please load. It is loading. I apologize.
It is okay.
I got a 2, a 3, and a 4.
Okay. So 1 right on and 1 above. So you definitely will give an extra die to Waldorf in his attempt. Diamond, are you assisting as well? You are muted. You remain muted. Diamond, you're muted. And yes, Chippy would get to ask a question. Diamond, you are muted.
Muted. Okay, got it. All right, got it. Okay, so I believe that Diamond is going to do something that is distracting, whether he realizes it or not.
Okay.
And he notices that the wizard has an orrery above you with a lot of different creatures in it, like both normal birds and some magical creatures as well, possibly. And he's like, "Oh my gosh! Someone accidentally put all of these poor magical and maybe somewhat magical creatures, like they've locked them in here. They must not have meant to do this. Like, this is awful. But let me help you out. And so he like scampers up. He's kind of good at climbing, and he's almost kind of like spider monkey-esque.
Yep.
And he's there just rattling around on the door and trying some different goblin magics to try to get it open. But he's got his goblin magics kind of confused, so he's trying a lot of different ones. Like, and
let's have you roll compassion. I think this is definitely compassion here. Do you think this is something you do a lot? These kind of clambering.
Oh yeah, he's rarely has 2 feet on the floor, really.
And is this fit in with your goblin goal?
I mean, I'm always trying to make. What's kind of funny is like my goblin goal is to make friends, but I'm usually trying to avoid the.
Yeah, so you might not actually be making gaining friends here. I said roll 2 dice, and you're looking for a 2 or above, and then we'll come back to Chippy's question.
You said 2 dice, right?
2 dice.
2 dice. All right, I'm gonna use this roller thingy that I haven't used before. So I just hit 2d6.
You select them
and then submit.
Hit. Yep.
That. There we go. So I think mine are blue.
Okay.
The 3 and a 5, I think.
So look at that, 2 successes. So we're going to get you a couple extra d6 on Waldorf's question. Now, Chippy, because you rolled exactly on your roll, you also get to ask a question of the scene.
Oh,
That's
God.
exciting.
That's
Okay.
so that's for Chippy here.
Oh, Chippy. Sorry.
That's okay. So my question is, get his name wrong every time. To add him to the list. Keep wanting to call him like Zanzibar. Zadim, Zabulus. Does he, whoever he is he actually practicing some sort of nefarious magic that it is important we report back to the queen? Or is he just sort of baking cookies and whatnot, and they're...
He's not just baking cookies. There is clearly something afoot here.
Okay.
Whether it is harmful to the queen is an entirely different question. But yes, you can tell. And you've been talking to him, talking about the cookies, and his attention is up, and he's saying, Diamond, could you please not climb? Please, could you come down, please? If you please, it'd be great if you could just come down, not open that door, would be appreciated. If maybe one of you could help get Diamond down from up there, please, if you would.
I can do it.
Good,
I have
thank
to.
you.
Yeah. Just like one of the actors.
Waldorf, you may make your roll with 2 bonus dice from your compatriots.
All right. And so that's 2 plus 2 more. So let's roll 4 dice.
Well, plus, is this working towards your goblin goal?
I'm attempting to learn the secrets that I will then share. So I don't.
Okay. Yeah, so let's go with the 4 dice. We're
Okay.
looking for 5s and below.
5s and below. And that's all 4 of them. And the fourth one is a 5.
Okay. So let me have you ask the question and then re-roll.
Okay.
Or would you like to save that question as a follow-up to what I'm about to tell you?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
And then I'll re-roll that one. And that is a 3. So that is 4 successes.
So there are a variety of calculations that are drawn, like magical symbols and things like that. You recognize this. The humans have this whole magical terminology and things like that. And, but you kind of move and you kind of step behind. And you see there's another chalkboard that is clearly kind of concealed. And you will see that there is he's drawn, like he's very good at magical symbols and like lines and things like that. Drawing actual things he's not very good at. So there's this thing that it takes you a second to realize is supposed to be the castle. And you realize there's the road, and he's drawn the woods around. And you can see that he's got this figure on a horse with a little crown on it and like a little dotted line going out into the woods. And you can see that there's he's drawn in with blue chalk, a kind of a pool. And you can see that he's drawn like a girl figure in a dress standing by the thing. And he's put exclamation points by it. He's clearly got some kind of plan involving the prince's quest out into the woods. What this means is not entirely clear. You do realize that he's a very bad artist.
Oh, he is an abysmal artist.
Yes.
He's used all the wrong colors for everything.
Yes. What is your follow-up question?
My follow-up question is based on what I know and based on some of like the magical symbols that I can see around this. What is the what is the most disruptive way that we could get in the way of this plan?
Well, it seems like this is some sort of thing to intercept the prince who's going out on his ride.
Mm-hmm.
So there are two options. One is to stop the prince from going out on the ride at all. The other is to make your way to the pond where whatever this is set up and disrupt it at its source. Does that seem like a fair set of answers?
Yes. Those would both be apt ways of... I don't know if Waldorf necessarily thinks of what's going to happen as like he wants to stop this evil plan. I think he's like, oh, he wants to do something. Let's prank him.
I think that's a fair assessment. Diamond, if Chippy goes to try and help bring you down, would you come down?
Yes. Yeah, I think I would. Or I would do that. Or I would be like, I'd ask Chippy maybe to help me. Be like, I just haven't found the right magic. I'm trying different ones, and I'm a little combobbled today because all I have to eat is cookies. I haven't eaten
It's
anything
okay.
besides for cookies, and I've got like a sugar high. I'm really jittery.
It's
Like,
okay. I learned
surely
this
these-
from the actors getting tangled up with their costumes and the various things on the scene. You don't even need magic. You just unwrap yourself
Oh.
from the things.
Oh, okay.
Here.
These don't. Surely these don't belong here. These should come back to the stables, right?
Good.
Like, these should come back to be with the rest of the animals. Like
Master Diamond,
gotten stuck up here.
I will take care of that in due course.
Okay. I mean, I guess it is your part of the castle, and
Yes, but your concern is noted and appreciated.
are you going to note it? Are you going to write it down?
I have it here in my head. I have marked you and what you have said to me.
Yes,
I didn't see any pencils. Did you draw on him?
That is powerful magic to put a note inside your head.
It is. In any case.
The only way I know how to get things into my head is to eat them. But you didn't eat a note.
No, I meant that I would remember what he asked.
You humans and your riddles.
Oh. That is very clever. And he looks down, and I'm standing next to him, just like mocking the little finger things he's doing. Very clever indeed.
Thank you. I appreciate your enthusiasm for my work. Perhaps, and he looks right at Skunkweed, perhaps you wish to take some of these cookies with you?
Thank you. That is very kind. And Skunkweed, he grabs a bunch of cookies and he starts shoveling them into his pockets.
I'm so sorry to have to ask you to leave now, but there are things that I must attend to.
Oh, don't mind us. We'll
It was
be
very
fine.
good to learn that all the rumors are true.
I really hope that you'll stop by again another day.
Can I bring something colorful? I'll bring you a present.
Oh, there's no need to bring gifts to me, but I do revel in surprises.
Uh-huh. Duly, as you said, I have marked you.
Excellent,
I
excellent.
I revel in ballrooms. I thought that was the custom. It's also possible to revel in
Nope,
surprises.
Come on.
This is very,
We
no,
we
I'm
have
learning
all we-
things.
We have
I'm
all we
learning
need.
things.
We should just leave. We have
I'm
everything.
engraving all of this information in my spleen.
Well then, good day. And as you kind of move out, he will come over and he does that thing where he has his hands on both doors and kind of shuts them, ominously together. And the statue will go through its. Are you
Yes,
quite
yes,
finished?
Charles.
Oh, sorry. Already did.
Hi, Charles.
Hey, hi.
But yeah, he said to come back another day. So
Yeah, we'll come back.
Okay.
Yep.
yeah,
Do you want us to bring you anything?
maybe later this
Yeah.
afternoon.
Okay. No, I don't need anything. That's sort of
Sure.
the purpose. It's all kind of the whole reason thing.
Skunkweed made a very, very good rock soup the other day.
Can't eat.
No.
Also-
You can't even eat rock soup?
Nope.
Guys, I
Yeah.
think Charles is made out of rock. This could be offensive.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Like Ixnay on the Ock Ray. Say.
I thought it was soup for rocks. I didn't think it was soup made out of rocks. I'm very sorry.
Yeah. No. It's delicious, but I mean, people don't eat it. You can't feed humans rock soup for some reason.
I don't understand the human naming things because sometimes they have like duck sauce that is made for ducks and they have soy sauce which is made out of soys, and I don't understand what anything means anymore.
I mean, I think it's reasonable, really.
Yeah. And like the Waldorf salad, it has nothing to do with Waldorf at all.
Yes, I've never liked salads, especially the ones named after me that are just fruits. I don't get it.
I was very relieved, actually. When I saw Waldorf salad on the menu one day, I got very concerned.
Oh, that I was in the salads?
I didn't know
Yes.
because of this naming convention you're talking about, and I thought, well, we can't eat Waldorf. That would be terrible. And then I went and looked for you when you were there, so I figured if you weren't in the salad, unless there was part of you missing, but you seemed pretty whole.
No.
My
I'm-
loving Camiglia von Fluff and
unless they stole
Sorry.
something from me while I was asleep, I should be in one piece.
Could you
And
Could
the
you
fishy
bring me some of
chippies.
this? Could you bring me some of the sauce for the ducks? Not know that there was sauce for ducks. I'd love to give the ducks some sauce.
I will make you some duck sauce
Awesome.
with my special mushrooms.
I think the ducks would really like that, and I'm sure that they would be my friend if I brought them some duck sauce.
So your plan seems to have gone off. You have made your way in. You have confronted Chrysanthemus. The three of you have, with expert coordination, distracted this wizard while Waldorf investigated. And what do you suppose is the place that the four of you would go to discuss and plot? Is it the kitchens? Is it the stables? Is it somewhere else?
I mean, I think it's the kitchens because I need to make some duck sauce.
Okay.
We do have a chore in the kitchens.
There'll be that moment when you come back in, Martha. Will see you and sees that you have three other goblins in tow. And there's a brief moment of panic on her face. And she'll say, you can use the smaller prep room if you need to discuss things.
Thank you, Martha. We are going to make duck sauce.
Oh, very, very nice. Excellent. Yes.
Yes.
And you will be able to go into this room. And Waldorf, what do you tell your compatriots?
So, I learned this from him, and I like this finger thing that he did, so I'm going to keep doing it. But, in any case, he said he liked surprises, so I had an idea. There was a picture of those, the unicorn pools, the things that Diamond you were talking about?
Mhm.
And it seems like he's going to go there soon and meet the prince there. And so, what if we showed up and surprised him and played a prank? I think that would be a lot of fun.
A nice prank?
I think it would be a nice prank.
What about the exclamation point woman?
I don't know who that was.
Should we be factoring her in?
I think so. How would we add her to the prank?
Perhaps one of us should plan on asking questions, because questions and exclamations get different things. Maybe it would cancel her out.
Oh, so if we ask her a question, then her exclamation point goes away and she becomes a question woman, and that's not on the drawing, so she's not there anymore.
That's what I'm thinking, yes.
Ah, yes. Okay, so we get rid of exclamation point woman by asking her questions. This is not sounding much like a prank. This is sounding more and more like a kidnapping.
Well, no, then we do the prank.
Oh, and then we do the prank on the other
We just
ones.
need to make sure we're prepared for exclamation point woman.
Yes. So you said that this was just like a pool of water, and the humans think that it's magic.
Yeah, they think that it's magic, but it's really not. It just doesn't have rust in it. And so they think it tastes really good, and they think it must like make them live longer or have shinier hair.
But if
Are
there's
there
no,
unicorns in it?
yeah,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, I mean, if there's no rust in it, then what gives it its flavor?
It's pretty flavorless, which is
And they
what
think
I
it's
think
Maybe
they like.
unicorn
They
flavor?
like about
And
it.
and they think it tastes good because it has no flavor.
Yeah, I think so.
This contradicts everything I have learned about cooking.
Maybe eating and drinking have different qualifications.
No, because I have given them wine which had magically no flavor, and they said that it was terrible.
Yeah. Well, that's why I don't work in the kitchens.
It is a very puzzling occupation.
It is. I have had an idea. The humans believe that the water is magic. So, what if we do magic things to the water while they're there and spook them by making the magic water fly up in their face or swirl around them or create a water monster or something?
I have an idea that we could bring ducks to the unicorn pod and feed them the duck sauce, and that will transform them into magic ducks, and they will think that because there are magic ducks in the pool itself is magic.
I do like magic ducks.
I've lost our objectives. Who's going to be at the pool and what do we want them to do? All I remember was an exclamation point woman, which we've already addressed.
Byzantimus and the prince are going to be at the pool, and
At the same
Byzantimus
time.
has already, I think at the same time. That's kind of what the picture was indicating. But
Do we want to do the same prank on both of them?
I think it's easier to plan one prank than it is to plan two pranks. And we are already having a significant amount of trouble planning just one prank.
But do we not want different outcomes for our prince and the evil wizard?
I mean, what is the outcome of a prank? It is to startle them and cause joy and confusion.
So that's our objective, is to startle the prince and the wizard to cause joy and confusion.
And it is already partially working because I am confused.
And I feel joyous.
Success.
It can't fail.
So, as I understand it, I know that Skunkweed is going to make some duck sauce. I assume Diamond is going to wrangle some ducks.
Sure, though there's lots of ducks already in the forest, but I can bring more. I can bring lots of ducks. I know exactly where to find ducks.
The more ducks, the merrier.
That seems good. What are you doing, Chippy, to prepare for this prank-based operation?
Once we get there, I imagine it'll take a minute to like wrangle the ducks and feed them the sauce and get them into all the things. So I will make a grand opening speech of welcome and those sorts of things. I will have more words by the time the plan comes to fruition. And it will be very grand and theatrical, and they won't look away at the other goblins because they will be so, I'm sure, entranced and not at all confused by my speech.
So are you getting an appropriately striking and arresting costume?
Oh yes, I am wearing one thing of every color.
So it is a magic Technicolor Dreamcoat of some kind.
Yes, and my shoes are different colors, and my socks are different colors, and I have a hat. I always have a hat.
What does this hat look like?
Well, the hat, if you picture sort of a traditional jester's hat, only instead of having all of the same things with the bells on the end, some of them stick out at odd angles, some of them kind of hang down and dangle. There's a makeshift unicorn horn stuck to the side of it. It's kind of, a catch-all hat.
Yes, it does seem like it would have multiple purposes and multiple places to be used. So these all seem like things that could be easily, readily done. The gathering of the duck sauce, so on. Waldorf, is there anything that you are doing as preparations for your prank?
I think Waldorf still wants to do like some kind of like sparks or like harmless like display of colorful magics to try and like activate the prank itself. And so he's gonna try and hunt down some like little firecrackery type things to try and.
Do you go back down to Ashbrand, the Goblin Alchemist, to get you some like flash materials?
Yeah, he probably has something. I should probably bring him like a gift.
What would you take him?
Ooh, he might like some of those paints if I can put some of my magic in them to make them change color and like color shifting paints.
Oh, okay.
So he might like some of those.
So you'll grab some of the pots of paints that you've been assigned that are carefully rationed and given out.
Oh yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. And you will take that down to Ashbrand, who'll be like, "Oh, hey Waldorf, how's it going?"
Hello, Ashbrand. I have a trade. I have also learned this finger thing, which I love.
Well, that's sort of creepy and ominous.
Oh, is it? I just thought
so.
It was interesting. It's something to do with my hands that's not like wave them wildly while I speak.
Fair enough. What is it that you want, and what is it that you have to trade?
So I have managed to smuggle you some of these color-changing inks from upstairs. I thought that some of your more potent alchemies would be much improved by having color-changing labels that display their power.
I do like that. Or I could put some of that in the potions so they changed color.
Oh, that's cool.
I could even tune it.
That is
so
very
it would change
exciting.
Based on their mood.
You could even put some of that in a little ring, and then it would just tell people their mood all the time.
Yes.
I believe we have come up with a concrete product that we can sell to the masses and will be widely accepted. But I digress.
Yes.
I was hoping you might have some minor pyrotechnics that we might use. Nothing destructive. We just want like colorful sparks and flashes of maybe some smoke. If you've got some smoke is
Certainly.
good.
I can get you a smoke bomb and a sparkle bomb.
Yes, that sounds perfect. That sounds like exactly what we need.
Now, and he'll go and rummage around these things. Here's the smoke bomb. You will need to light this. Here is the sparkle bomb. It will give off sparks. I want you to know that it also contains glitter.
Yes.
A great volume of glitter.
This is
It's
exciting.
very difficult to wash out, as I have discovered. So be careful what you do with this thing.
Okay, I will not throw it. I'm not going to make any promises because I will break those
Yeah,
promises.
absolutely. I know you will. So I'm just going to hand you these things, and you're going to hand me the paint, and we're going to walk away like this never happened.
I'm not sure what that means, but excellent.
Excellent as well. Stephen, is there anything I should know about this duck sauce?
Well, only that when I go to find the ducks, I'm not able to find any ducks, and I find geese instead. But I'm sure it'll work just as well.
Okay. So you'll be able to make that up. Gather yourselves together. Now, Diamond, you can finally venture out into the woods as you so desired earlier in this day.
Wah!
Get your little knapsack and the stick.
Yep.
Got a couple of ducks.
Yep, there's like a duck in one of the knapsacks. I've actually tied 2 or 3 onto it, and one of them already has a duck in it. Nice yellow duck. Perfect.
And the 4 of you will head out at the gate. The gatekeep will kind of stop and will say, it's most unusual for 4 of you to be going out into the woods like this. Is there some special goblin-y occasion?
Quack, quack.
And a duck-based goblin-y occasion?
It's the Duck Festival of the Grand Goblin of the West. On his birthday every year, we have a duck festival
Oh,
because he
that's-
likes ducks.
that sounds very important.
Yes,
Quack, quack.
we really must be off. We can't be late.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Sorry to did not want to impose myself on your ritual business. I will see you later. And
Have a wonderful day.
yes, you as well. Diamond, the woods are dark and twisty. But you've been to this pond before, right?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Okay. I think you love the woods. I think that is a thing you like. But I do want you to roll to find yourself there without too much trouble. Does that seem like a fair thing to ask?
I'm sure. I like trouble. But
It's risky. It's something you do a lot. So I think 2 dice makes sense for that.
2d6. Submit. I said submit. I don't. Wait. Rerolls. What? No. Oh no. Rate exceeded. Give me a moment. Yeah, reroll. So like, no.
In the
It looks like
meantime,
you rolled.
Well, that's my
There's a bunch of
old
dice
roll
on
from the last time I rolled.
No,
There
there's
we
4 dice on the thing now.
Are there? Oh, there we go. It went, and I got a 2 and a 1.
Okay. So the good news is that the 2 you get to reroll, and you're going to get to ask a question.
Okay.
And then I'm going to come to Chippy because Chippy had something. So what question do you want to ask?
I would like to know. Is there anyone in the prince's entourage going with him other than all of his like knights? Is there anyone else in the entourage?
He just has a couple of people with him because this is kind of a his ritual ceremony going out into the woods to seek his princess. So it's actually a pretty small entourage. Just a couple
okay.
people, and they're probably back a little ways from him to give him some room. It's all supposed to be
Who are
mystical
the
and
couple?
stuff.
Like, so who are the
Let's say Sir Townsend and Sir Thanos.
Okay, let me get those guys into our Google document.
Townsend and Thanos.
Thanos.
They might be a little skeptical about this whole plan. That's
Sure,
the thing.
yeah. I don't
So
see why they shouldn't be.
why don't you re-roll the 2?
Okay, give me one moment.
Sure.
All right, so we're gonna re-roll the 2 and 4.
Okay, so you have a success. So we'll add a complication in here, but you'll be finding your way there. Pearl, Chippy, did you have something you want to ask or say?
Wrong button. Sorry.
Fair enough.
There we are. All right. I was just going to say, if we're going out at roughly the same time as the prince and them, are we going to encounter them before the lake?
No, the prince is kind of making a tour around, and with your knowledge, you should be able to get to the pond before the prince is there and not have to cross paths.
Okay. So on the way, I want to ask my compatriots so that I'm prepared. If they could tell from our interaction with Byzantimus, if you're supposed to say what you mean and act like you don't mean it, or say a lie, but act like how you actually are feeling so that I don't mess it up. Right? Like, am I supposed to be like, we just happen to be here doing nothing at all? Or am I supposed to be like, oh, we're here on a secret mission from the Queen. How silly of us to be here trying to distract and thwart you with a plan that you're not aware of. Do you see what I'm saying? I feel like those are two different things, and I want to know which is the one that I'm supposed to be doing.
I do like the finger thing, so I think you should do that one.
Okay. Just either way.
Either way. I think the finger thing goes better with the one where you say the lie but act like you the truth thing.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
that whole aesthetic goes
So
better.
like, we goblins are here for no reason.
Yes, that is, yeah. You
Okay.
looked, your acting is impeccable.
Thank you. I've been practicing.
You will go tromping through these weird woods, the multicolored trees, the strange plants, the animals that have been touched by the magics that go deeper into the place, all kinds of wild mushrooms, that look like swords, axes, other odd shapes around and about, and lots of beasts that kind of call down to Diamond from the trees that give squawks of recognition of him as he comes through here.
Give squawks of recognition in return. Quack, quack, quack.
That was the day that the Raccoon Nation attacked. And you will move forward, and you will come and you will see out in this grove. It's actually quite lovely. The light kind of comes down in beams through the trees here, the sort of violet mauve trees. So it comes down here, and there's a beautiful pond that is there. And you can see that it looks really, really lovely there. And as you are kind of coming down to the edge of this, and you're making some squawk and some noise as you do, you will briefly see a figure kind of poke out from behind one of the trees, sees you, and then goes back.
Probably one of those damn beavers.
Be a very big beaver and upright as well.
Was it goblin sized or human sized?
Would it be the first upright beaver I've seen?
It looked like a smaller human, not a child human, bigger than that, but not a big human.
Do you believe that this is exclamation point woman?
Oh, it might be. If we could catch up to it, we could ask it questions.
This does not look like Byzantimus or the prince, and that is the only other person who is in the drawing.
It's true. The only variable that was unaccounted for. All right.
Only variable in these magic woods.
Well, in the drawing, there was one variable we weren't sure about. It was exclamation point woman. So this must be her. And our big plan is to ask her questions to cancel her out.
Who's good at asking questions?
I mean, all of us are good at asking questions. Or squawking them occasionally, in Diamond's case.
That is true. He can talk to lots of people. Maybe he should go ask the questions. What if it doesn't speak English? You're the best at speaking with the animals.
English? I didn't even know I spoke English.
Maybe exclamation point lady only speaks in punctuation.
Oh.
Do we know how to do that?
I don't think that speaking in punctuation has been invented yet.
I don't know. When I was young, I studied alliterative magic, even though I was illiterate.
I've seen some little yellow birds that speak in punctuation. I've seen that. Little hash marks.
It seems that Diamond is, in fact, the most qualified.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna.
You've spoken with the punctuation bird, so you should go and talk to this punctuation woman.
Okay. I will attempt to. First, I've got to see where she is and where she went. So I'm going to attempt to scramble around the tree and see if I can see her.
Okay. So I think this is risky.
Okay.
And
I'm not afraid of risk.
right. I don't think necessarily something you don't hunt people down a lot, but
Nope, not people.
but you do like to make friends.
I do. I would love to make friends with this person
Let's
or animal or creature.
let's have you roll 2d6.
Right, doing a lot of 2d6s. I'm just gonna re-roll the ones I did before.
Makes sense.
Come on, snake eyes. I guess it's just spinning. They're rolling. They're rolling and rolling. Oh, 2 and a 1.
So you get to ask a question,
Oh, oh, ironic.
and then you get to re-roll.
Okay. All right. My question is this thing behind the tree, is it actually the woman that we saw in the drawing?
Well, I think you can put 2 and 2 together and say, yes, it is definitively the woman that was drawn. But given that it was essentially a head and a little triangle for a dress and little arms,
Oh,
it bears a resemblance in that the figure is wearing a dress.
okay.
And you will kind of tumble and you kind of knock. Let's have you re-roll a die. Let's see if you get a success.
Got it. I'm gonna re-roll the 2, I believe, right?
I got a 4.
The 2 has become a 4.
Look at this. So you will run into her and she'll kind of fall over and there's kind of sparkles in the air around her and like a glow of magic around her as you knock this young woman over and she as she falls.
Whoa, I'm sorry to set off your sparkle bomb there. You had one too.
And she's like, no, it shouldn't be going off. It should no. Let me see how I stop this. Hang on.
Oh.
And she'll kind of does something, and the sparkle will dim down.
Oh. Well, hello. Hey, who are you? What is 2 plus 2? What's your favorite color? Like, what kind of tree is this? Like, have you ever seen leaves like this before? I'm trying to ask as many questions as I possibly can.
And she's like, you should go. You and your friends should go. Something is, you're gonna mess something up, please.
What am I gonna mess up? What's the mess up? What is the answer to life and meaning in all the universe? Like
which do you want me to answer?
what is duck sauce made out of?
I don't know.
Where are all the ducks? There should be more ducks here.
She kind of backs away from you.
Did you come here for the great duck gathering today?
There's a duck gathering today?
Yes, every year.
No, he didn't say anything about that.
Who didn't say anything about what? Oh, the ducks. He didn't say anything about. He definitely should have said something about the ducks.
She says you and your friend should go. Please.
He's asking all the questions and she's not getting canceled out. I think we need a new plan.
Maybe we chose the wrong punctuation mark.
Yes.
Maybe we should try an ellipsis. Just put pauses in our conversation.
I like this plan. He seems to be doing a good job of that.
Yeah.
Is she going away?
She's not going away. In fact, she seems to be kind of like she's making these gestures like, you all should go, kind of thing.
Oh, do you know what? Oh, he probably just needs the confidence of having all of his ducks around him. Let's bring him all the ducks. That will make him more confident and he can continue the conversation.
Quack, 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 quack.
So the three of you roll up with a posse of ducks and
some geese, apparently.
And some geese. And she's like, what? Oh no, please, you should all go. You shouldn't be here. The prince will be here soon.
But it's our pleasure to be here with you and the ducks, madam.
Oh, did my father send you?
Well, who's your
father?
She looks kind of down, chrysanthemous.
Is he kind of sinister looking?
Your father is chrysanthemous?
You don't really resemble him at all.
That is a fair point.
People say that quite a bit. Yes, I get that quite a lot. Yes.
Can you even pretend to be evil?
He does a lot of the evil finger thing, and you don't seem to be doing that at all. Is that a family trait?
He was raised under a warlock, so that's how he talks.
Were you not raised under a warlock?
What? Wait, what?
Well, he was raised under a warlock. That makes him a warlock. That means you were raised under a warlock, right?
No. I didn't take up magic.
Oh, did you go to finishing school somewhere else?
Something like that.
Something like that. Oh.
Are you aware that your father thinks that you are a triangle with arms?
Yes, I know. He's not very good at that, is he?
Do you know your father's cookie recipe?
Yes, I do.
What is it he uses with the nutmeg? I got the nutmeg, but there's something else there.
Please, the prince will be here soon.
I brought a candle if you'd like to write it down for us.
No. And you maybe can hear in the distance, like horses going through the woods.
Is there like mysteriously a French horn?
We need to hide. Everybody hide.
Quick! We need to feed the ducks the duck sauce.
Feed the ducks. and Waldorf is like trying to do like traffic control, but pointing everybody in the wrong direction and just flailing his arms all over the place.
So you're trying to direct traffic. you're releasing the ducks then, a skunkweed? Is that my understanding?
Yeah,
Feeding.
yeah, feeding and releasing. Yes.
Feeding, releasing. And what are you doing, Chippy? This young woman is just like trying to
Technically,
get
the
you to
young
stop.
woman is Diamond's job. So I'm going to run towards where I hear the sound of the horses and whatnot so I can begin my extravagant speech of welcome.
Okay. And Diamond, what are you doing?
Well, I'm still earnestly holding out that candle, hoping for that cookie recipe.
You hold the candle, and eventually she'll take it, not quite knowing, but oh no! And she looks like she's truly upset, and you see tears start to come down her face as she sees everything going wrong.
Wow.
Chippy, let's come to you as we see all of the chaos back behind the French horns. You can go up. Do you wait on the edge of the pond, or do you go forth to speak to the prince before he arrives?
I'm going to go up to the trail, which I imagine doesn't go all the way to the pond. Like they're stopping and there's the clear. So I'll go up to the end of the trail where he will presumably stop with his horses and his entourage and whoever else is coming to this thing that I'm going to continue pretending is the Great Duck Festival.
Sure. So you will see this prince come riding up. You know him as Prince Affable. Sorry, that's his brother's Amiable. Prince Affable and a couple of his people back their ways back, Townsend and Thanis, and you'll see Affable kind of sees you and goes, "Hail and well met, multicolored forest goblin."
Ah, well met indeed, Prince Affable.
Ooh, your voice is a bit spooky. Is this something I should be concerned about?
No, I've only learned the secrets of communicating with humans recently, and I've been practicing.
Oh,
Nothing to be concerned about here. Near
well
this magical pond.
yes, we were heading to the unicorn pond to water our horses, as one does when one travels out here, as I search for the forest to give me a sign to present me a magical bride.
A magical bride, say ye?
Yeah, ye is what I say. Yes, that is.
Well, you didn't know this, I am sure, for you are not of the goblin people. But today is the day of the Great Duck Festival. And I am here to welcome you to the Great Duck Festival, at which there will be many ducks.
But I brought nothing to honor you with, aged crone, multicolored goblin person male.
That is a one-time exception shall be made to the honoring the me part of the festival. I would like to present to you the opening festivities, and I'm like looking around in hopes that like some magical ducks are now, they've been fed the sauce and something's gonna happen because I can only keep this up for so long.
Let us pause here. You have the prince's attention. Let us turn to the Duck Brigade. This, I think, is a cooperative action between Waldorf and Skunkweed, a combination of duck sauce and magical ducks. Does this seem correct?
I think that sounds reasonable.
So let us have then, how about Skunkweed, you assist since you are creating this sauce to invest these ducks with some trait. Does that seem reasonable?
I think we should go the other way because I'm providing the background pyrotechnics to his duck entrance,
Okay.
which I think is the more critical thing that's going to happen.
Then let us have you, what do you think how many dice you get, Skunkweed?
And I think I get 3 dice because.
Okay. Then let's have Waldorf roll to assist, and we'll add on to those 3 dice.
Looking at my pool, I think I only get the 1.
That may.
I'm not being inquisitive. I'm not sharing secrets. Unless you count all the ducks as a secret.
I'm going to give you that, given the wildness of this whole plan. That
Okay.
I'm still not sure where we went and how we got to this place. I'm not certain.
All right, I will roll 2 dice.
Please.
I got a 3 and a 1.
So
Are
that's
both below
yeah.
5.
So that's a success. You got a success on that. So you give an extra die to Skunkweed. Skunkweed, please roll.
What? That's 3 successes.
So tell me what this looks like.
And as I feed the ducks the duck sauce, they all transform. I mean, they get bigger and they turn different pastel colors, and a few of them are breathing fire or
Yeah, okay.
or glitter or other magical effects. And the goose, for some reason, it doesn't change colors. It just gets much bigger and grabs a stick in its mouth and starts
Yeah,
running.
because geese are nasty, and they're running around nipping and cudgeling things with this stick. Waldorf, anything you want to add to that?
I think I think the first thing that goes off is the smoke bomb. And so there's like this roiling mass of smoke that comes out of the trees, and then the horde of ducks comes out of the smoke, and like all of them are jumping into the pool and splashing around everywhere. And there's a couple of those like spark bombs have gone off in the air and are raining glitter down on everybody.
And the prince has stepped forward to see this, and he's like, oh, what magics, what amazement. This duck festival is very smoky and kind of there's some glitter in my eyes, I think.
It is suggested that you stay a good 10 to 15 feet away from the actual duck festival.
Fair enough. The geese looks very, very angry. Maybe
especially from the geese.
Okay, I'll just be over here. Diamond, what are you doing? You see this enlargement of the geese and ducks, and they are going kind of wild and splashing, and all of this is going on, and this young woman is crying. And what are you doing?
Oh, well, I think being very compassionate, I am very concerned for this crying young woman. I really thought that the duck festival and the fireworks, I thought this was a great plan. I thought it was a very nice prank. I wanted to play a nice prank, not a mean prank. And so I'm very concerned. I'm going to attempt empathy
Okay.
and see if I can console her and ask her what is wrong, what could possibly be wrong. Like, this is not the most amazing spectacle of ducks and maybe a couple geese. I mean, I know the geese weren't really meant to be here, but all in all, I think it's.
I know the ducks are fine. The ducks are wonderful. Your geese are lovely. They're very mean. Let's have you roll.
Okay. All right. I'm definitely trying to make friends here.
Okay. Yeah. And I'll give you an extra die for the circumstances since you kind of set up for this. So let's say 3 dice.
Okay. I'm going to see if I can make that happen on the rolly roll. It says, use this. No, I don't want to. Wait, this is a bit. Maybe. Does that work? No.
Sometimes it takes a second for the dice to go with the.
So I put a 3 in the box. Oh, maybe I clear my old dice.
No, you can. Whatever you want to do, either way.
That's probably easier.
Okay.
And then I submit. There we go. 3, 4, 5.
3, 4, 5. So she breaks down. She'll say, I was here. I was supposed to appear as a magical. The prince would come and they would see me, and it would just, I just saw him from afar, love, and now that's all gone. And she's crying about how this plan to catch the prince's eye has gone terribly awry.
Are you afraid he'll be seduced by a duck? He get confused and take a duck home instead?
No, it's all going wrong.
Oh. Oh, I thought it was all going so well.
It's never going to see the ducks and the smoke and the sparkles and glitter everywhere.
I don't know what the marriage laws are like in this land, but maybe he can have a duck and you.
I rush over and I pull some cookies out of my pocket and I say, I know that the prince likes cookies.
But the duck, she's like holding this cookie and she doesn't know what to do.
Come on. We need to get the princess. We need to get the wizard's daughter to the prince so that she can give him a cookie. This is our fault.
So you're going to try and navigate through this menagerie of enormous, absurdly large ducks and violent geese to get her to the prince?
With a cookie in hand? That sounds dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to try to wrangle one of the ducks so that the princess can mount it, and I will steer while she heads towards the prince with a cookie.
Okay, let's have you roll. Our Diamond, Waldorf, are you assisting?
I would love to assist. I'd love to give whatever help I can.
Have you guys conveyed to Waldorf what the plan is?
I think
trying
that's
to
been
get
sort of in the air.
Okay. I think Waldorf is going to try and run around the other side to get to the prince and tell the prince, we need your help. Come, and try and pull him closer to try and meet like in the middle.
So that seems like an assist. Yeah. Let's have. So I think you're a stable hand, Diamond. So that's a die. You do this quite a bit. This is about making friends. So you get 3 dice. Waldorf, what do you think you get for wrangling the prince as you come around?
A dice, maybe.
Are you trying to share a secret?
I am trying to share a secret. That is
2
exact.
dice.
That is true. So I will. I'll take that.
Okay. So let's have both of you roll.
So I'll roll 2d6, and I got a 1 and a 2.
Okay. So you will definitely get an extra die for that. And what about you, Diamond?
Wait, 2, 3, 3.
Okay. So we'll get an extra die for that. So Stephen, you may do yours with 2 extra dice.
Yeah, and I think I get 2 base dice because the goal of this is to share food. That's 2 successes and an exact match.
Okay. What is your question before you re-roll that?
What are you doing over there?
What is the prince's favorite thing to eat with cookies?
I think it must be milk.
Okay.
Gross.
It's good because I have some milk in my other pocket.
Yes, you do. So, Diamond, you help wrangle this duck. You get this young woman onto this enormous duck. You're steering them through. The other, they're going for cookies. The goose is like one. You have to like push the goose back, getting up there. Waldorf, you run up. You're pulling him along. Chippy, you're all kind of in communication from the stones. The princess sorts her daughter on a duckback is rushed up. The prince is pulled away. What are you saying? How are you helping out or sealing this deal? What is it? What is your performance of a lifetime that you are giving here?
I think I'm very concerned because this is my performance of a lifetime, but I did not think we were supposed to bring exclamation point woman as I still know her and the prince together, but everybody seems to be doing not what the plan was, which was to confuse everyone in a jovial fashion and get them to go away. So at this point, I think my performance has gone a little bit off the rails, and I'm just like starting to quote Chaucer and other things just to be doing. They're like, "Wan the April with his shorter sota, the Drochten March hath Carson told the Rota." You all speak Middle English, right?
I think that's definitely 3 dice worth of effort here.
Okay. I got a 1, a 4, and a 5.
A 1, a 4, and a 5. So you've got 2 that are successes. So Prince Affable is not the sharpest knife in the drawer, as we saw from earlier. And he's been taken in by the wonder of this duck ceremony, and he is dragged forward even as Chippy is enacting, and he thinks it's some sort of ritual language, some sort of invocation that is coming. And out of the smoke and the glare comes this woman on duckback who has a cookie that she hands him, and he takes it like it's like it is manna from heaven. And then there's a dirty cup of milk presented from Skunkweed, and he will look, and you can see she looks down at him and he looks up at her, and he and takes her hand, and you can tell that these humans, they're very weird, they're very dumb, but you can tell that there's a spark, there's a connection between them. Even as we hear the geese and ducks tearing off in all directions, flying out they will become a disaster in waiting. So let us go to epilogues. Tell me, Diamond, usually we do epilogues at the end of a game like that. Like what would be the next scene? What do we see happen with Diamond, either in the immediate aftermath or this, or down the road? What do we think lies in the future for Diamond?
Oh, yeah. I think that Sir Ken is going to come back to the stables the next morning, and expecting them to be completely clean, just as Diamond had promised. But instead, they're going to be full of like eggs everywhere, like colored eggs, painted eggs, normal eggs, huge goose eggs, like just massive goose eggs. Then they can't even fit the prince's horse back into the stall because there's a massive goose egg in the way.
And the prince has been convinced of the sacredness of the duck, so he doesn't want anybody to molest the eggs.
That's true. The sacredness of the ducks and the viciousness of the giant geese.
Yes.
Which might be a good task for his knights, that they might need to ride out into the forest and deal with the giant vicious geese instead of dragons.
The scourge upon this realm.
Yeah. This month, the dragons are going to have to wait while we deal with the geese.
Goose Slayer. All right. Chippy, what is your epilogue? What do we see of Chippy in the immediate aftermath, or later on down the road?
I think later on down the road, the prince and Chrysanthemus's daughter have gotten married, and due to the fact that as far as the prince is concerned, Chippy was in charge of the sacred duck and occasional goose festival that really, cemented their love. Chippy has been made the head thespian of the court now under King Affable, all these years later. But the king also believes in the magic power of this mystical language that is just Chaucer. And so all performances begin with at least one story from the Canterbury Tales. And there aren't that many of them. So as the years go on, everyone just has to learn to sit through oratory in Middle English. And Chippy has never been happier.
Wondrous. Skunkweed, what about you?
I mean, I actually become Chrysanthemus's apprentice because I am in awe of his cooking skills. And I mean, it turns out that he actually thinks of himself more as a cook than as a wizard.
Never
And
really wanted the title of the Wizard of the North.
Yeah,
No, yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. And so I move up into the tower, and I'm doing all sorts of wonderful pastries, and I am inventing all kinds of new kinds of sauce. I mean, badger sauce and raccoon sauce and opossum sauce. So the woods are getting filled with an increasing variety of brightly colored, gigantic wildlife. And most people have no idea why this is happening. It's just one of those things.
Waldorf, what is your epilogue?
I think Waldorf's epilogue is down in the dungeon with I can't remember his name, the alchemist
Ashbrand?
goblin, Ashbrand, the alchemist goblin, and the two of us are just sitting across a table from each other, gossiping. We're like, I've got a gigantic stick of rhubarb, and I'm just eating the leaf off the end of it. But he's tinkering with something, and we're just chatting, and I'm working on my illuminated manuscript that if you take a closer look, it looks halfway between what happens when you highlight a picture and it goes inverse and a My Little Pony scenescape, and it's the most bizarre nightmare you've ever seen, but he thinks it's great. And the two of them are just hanging out, having a good time, and they're enjoying life together, and they're getting to know each other a little bit.
Awesome. Thank you all very much. If you don't mind, can we do just a quick maybe once around for stars, things you want to say, things you like, maybe wishes if there's things you wish we had seen more. Let's do reverse order on that, Catan style. So Sam, do you mind starting?
No, sure. I like going first. Holy moly, stars to everybody. That was amazing. If you probably saw me falling over laughing half of the time. That was so much fun. I will say on a stars to the game perspective, it is much more entertaining when you have some people who are very compassionate and some people who are very clever, because you get a bit of a mix up. Last time we had all clever people, and so it was very much we were all doing scheming things. So this was a lot more diverse and entertaining. But yeah, I'm having a hard time thinking of a wish. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we come around to the end and I have one, I might throw it in. But I could call everybody out specifically, but you guys were all amazing. Thank you.
I want to say a wish. I screwed up when I resent the invitation email today. I sent it based on the original email, and I had forgotten that Pearl had joined. I had sent a separate email on that, so that was entirely my fault, and I feel very badly that you came in late and that I goofed that up. I am very, very sorry that happened. I sincerely apologize, but I'm so glad that you came in and went from 0 to 60, and it was great. It was great. Stephen, stars or wishes?
I will definitely. I mean, stars to you though. I really loved both the statue and the wizard, and the way you played them, and I loved the way that Pearl and Sam picked up on the finger thing, and that was just all so delightful, and just the way that everybody in this game comes up with these ridiculous schemes and just commits to them 100%. It's so, I mean, it is ridiculous and fun.
Yeah, it was great. Pearl, stars, wishes.
Yeah, much like Sam, you may have seen me like having to like dive behind a pillow because I was cracking up so much at one point. This was really delightful and fun. I had no idea what I was getting into since I did miss the first game and then was sort of coming in late to the second, and no worries about the email thing. Thank you for letting me come in late once that got figured out. I was happy to join, but wasn't sure whether I was going to be able to figure out what was going on. And everyone's characters were played so well that it was immediately clear to me how this game was working. So that's stars to everyone for what they were doing, including Lowell as the GM. The reason I was able to jump in as quickly as I was because there was no question as to what was going on and how farcical this whole thing was and how the goblins behaved and what the results were. It was just really, really great. Seconding basically everything everyone has said, with the statue and the wizard were delightful, and Diamonds getting caught in various curtains and other things and making many animal noises and ostensibly being out there to make friends but also trying to avoid any contact with anyone the whole game I found very amusing. I don't know, everything was this was the sort of game I needed, one where I literally was laughing so hard I had to bury my face in a thing. So thank you all for
Awesome.
Wonderful time.
Kyle, a delight to play with you for the first time. Anything you want to point to, highlights, stars, or wishes, things you would have wanted to see?
Sure. Yeah, I should say this is a lot of firsts for me. First time playing a game remotely. First time playing a game with you guys on the Gauntlet. And first time playing Goblin Court. So I wasn't really sure what to expect. Always a little scary when you're doing something for the first time. But I really, so first of all, I would say thank you, Lowell, for doing all this. This is amazing. I know it's difficult, like, to be a GM and think on the fly, and it's great to be able to play a game with 4 other people so that you have time to think. And to that point, I would also say to Stephen and Sam, you guys did an awesome job in the first session. So it was easy for me to watch that first session and see you guys set the tone for how the goblins might interact with people and like the sort of like backwards logic, but still very like logical logic that a goblin would have. So it was easy. It made it a lot easier for me to think about my character and how my character might fit into that. And then to Pearl, I would say definitely a star for just pulling Chaucer out of your back pocket. It was definitely
Nice.
unexpected. I was like, somebody went to school. But, it wasn't me. Yeah, as far as wishes, again, since I am coming into this so fresh and have had so few experiences, I feel like this is everything that I want from a storytelling game. Like, you're rolling dice, but not that often, and it moves along, and like it moves along very quickly, and you're like getting into your characters, and it's definitely the kind of experience that I was really hoping for.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you all so much. Had a very good time with these 2 goofy sessions of this. And I'm going to stop the recording.